King Charles and Catherine have got to be very careful. It's going to be much quieter, I believe, because they don't want anybody coming up and being aggressive or demanding, and they just don't want it, and that's right. The other thing is that all the royal family feel is that they can't trust him. If they tell him anything, he'll try to sell it or actually twist it, and you can't have that. So they want something peaceful.
More shocking information has emerged about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Christmas plans, which they have revealed to favourable US media after being snubbed, not invited by the British royal family. Our Royal Mastermind Angela Levin is here. Angela, do you know what? I say hallelujah. What on earth have they done to deserve an invitation? I find it utterly bizarre that Harry and Meghan, and I'll take you through the article in just a moment, but that they are trying to make themselves out to be the victims here. Why would King Charles and Prince William and Catherine want them at Sandringham? Surely they should be banned after their behaviour.
Well, we don't know what is true about that. They might have been asked several months ago, and they said no. And because they haven't been asked again and again and tried to be persuaded, they pretend it's coming from the other side. I think one has to look at these things in a different way than you would normally. But I think, King Charles and Catherine have got to be very careful. It's going to be much quieter, I believe, because, they don't want anybody coming up and being aggressive or demanding, and they just don't want it, and that's right. The other thing is that all the royal family feel is that they can't trust him. If they tell him anything, he'll try to sell it or actually twist it, and you can't have that. So they want something peaceful. It's a very important time, and they want something peaceful where people are gathering and being together. I mean, what they want is what Meghan says she's going to have to these women, but it's a nonsense. She won't have that. But the Spencers, on the other side of Harry's life, did invite him and Meghan to go to join them for Christmas, and he said no. And the reason was because he's not going until he's safe and he gets 24/7 security.
Yeah, so they want an invite. They want an invite, but then they're not going to come anyway. This is so
they
them.
just want to be wanted, don't they? They just want to be wanted. But that's very silly, because they can have people making sure that they're safe, but they're not going to have that grade 1, and they're after it. Harry's going in next in 26. He's going to have a court case about that yet again, and there's another one in 25. He's just doing it on and on and on, which is costing him vast amounts of money. But there we are. But what Harry is doing, he's, as I mentioned the other week, was a global ambassador for Scottish Little Soldiers. These are children who've lost a father or a mother in battles, and he's going to do something over Christmas without Meghan, on his own, talking to them, trying to cheer them up, that is going to tell them what the life of a real live prince is all about. Now, whether that makes them feel much better that they've lost a parent, or whether they find it incredibly boring, we probably won't know. But that's what he's doing. That's what he's setting out for Christmas. And I imagine that's something that he's now got something he can do, and expand it or contract it according to what he wants. But I feel very, what's going to happen actually over Christmas, I don't know yet.
Well, let me tell you their spin, because this is their spin which has been briefed to the New York Post, Angela. And we know that Harry and Meghan communicate with the New York Post. So they say that they will celebrate Christmas together at their Montecito mansion. They say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have once again been snubbed from the guest list of the royal family's annual get-together at Sandringham House, leaving them to carve out other plans for the festive season. but they say that it will be done with Doria Ragland, Meghan's mum. A source close to the pair said that they will make their at-home celebrations extra special. They also go on to say that while the duo didn't receive an invitation from the royals for annual festive get-together, they did get invited, as Angela says, to spend Christmas at Althorpe House with Charles Spencer. So that is the spin, Angela. The spin is very much poor Harry and Meghan, all on their own. They only have Doria. The thing is, though, if they hadn't cut off their American family, they could have Thomas Markle and Thomas Markle Jr. and Samantha Markle there, couldn't they?
Yeah, well, it's something they've done. And also, Meghan doesn't want to come into the UK under any circumstances. She hates it. She has very bad feelings about in the UK. So, why invite somebody who you know is going to say no every time you ask them? So you said stop. And it's just phony, isn't it? It's just they need to be poor things, and on the other hand, they're glorious and can do everything. And it's a sort of terrible muddle, and very rude and very difficult for people to handle. But Meghan would not go, even if they begged her, she wouldn't go. So the point of that is a nonsense again.
And the whole
You
spin,
can,
Angela, well, the whole spin is a nonsense. I mean, look at what Us Weekly. Now, the Us Weekly, this is another magazine which is in the pocket of Harry and Meghan. They run their PR spin. Look at this.
yes.
For Meghan Markle, family is everything during the holiday season. Did they expect us to buy that? She hates her family. She's cut both sides of the family off, and she's cut Harry's family off. Like, come
Yes.
on. This is
I know.
ludicrous.
It's very funny, isn't it? But what she says as well is
We're
very strange.
stupid.
She said, now every year that goes by, it gets more exciting because the children are learning something. And as a mum who has children, which I think is the most extraordinary sentence you can hear, I'm a mum who has children. And so we can do more things. We can play and have fun. Well, of course you can, but it's awful for little children not to run around with other children, not to have a lovely time. I mean, they're not invited now by the A's level famous people where they are. They don't get invited. People are staying well away. And so they're finding it harder and harder. So they have to come up with this make-believe stuff and hope that everybody believes it, which they don't.
Well, we don't, because we know the
No, we
truth.
don't.
But
Certainly
Angela,
not.
it's getting much worse. I know last time you were here, we spoke about Harry and Meghan's tacky polo show on Netflix.
Yes.
But we actually have new developments on this. So let me show you this article from the Daily Beast. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's tacky polo show derided by friends and execs. But Angela, it is worth going through this because Tom Sykes, who is the European editor-at-large for the Daily Beast, has good contacts within Harry and Meghan's circle, especially the royal circle. And it is absolutely brutal what they have to say about this trailer, which of course Harry and Meghan are the executive producer for, and they do say that this is likely to become their biggest flop yet. So listen to this, Angela. One former friend of Harry, who played polo with him as a teenager, said, "It's hilarious, but not in a good way. It's so tacky and cringy. It is literally all the worst things about polo. I watched it in appalled hysterics." Another former friend of Harry said, "The irony is that polo is actually a surprisingly inclusive sport these days. You do see plenty of rich kids, but there are also plenty of kids from less rarefied backgrounds who just happen to be fantastic riders who are sponsored by the teams. It doesn't look like this show is going to foreground that, which is a real missed opportunity." And then even more damning, a senior Hollywood executive tells the Daily Beast, "This looks like it has failed to capture the imagination. They still have Meghan's cooking show to screen next year, but there is very little tolerance for pissing money away these days. It's debatable whether anyone cares about these two if they are not serving up outrageous stories about the royals. They are running out of last chances to prove that isn't so. If they can't, they could try to monetize their fame on social media. People will still give Harry $1 million for a post. But goodness me, Angela, this has received utterly damning verdicts, including from
Yeah.
his former polo friends.
Yes. I mean, you can't have two people produce anything really if they've got no experience. But Megan, of course, for sure, thinks she does know how to do it and doesn't want to listen. And so it's bound to be ridiculous. You can't just, start to do this and do a 5-time series. It's just not going to happen. But the other people who can't stand it is the animal rights activists
Oh,
who think that
Peter,
they've
yes.
been very, very unkind to the animals. And I think they are going to try and shut it down even before it opens. Um, Harry has, he was very badly behaved when he rode on a pregnant horse, and he made the horse feel so bad that it lost its baby and died. So I think a lot of people feel that he's not very good with animals. He's not careful enough, doesn't love them enough, just uses them. And so I think they're on a very difficult ledge there. Um,
They are. They are. Well, they're losing everyone, Angela, because do you remember Liz Jones used to be the one defender of Harry and Meghan within the sort of stable of Daily Mail columnists, and she has turned in the most biting manner. And Liz Jones, I know her; she's a big animal lover, actually. And I just want to read out what she had to say about this Polo documentary, because the reality series it is really. She says, what's next? His own slot on the shopping channel? How can Harry and Meghan possibly travel the globe preaching about poverty and diversity and inclusion when not one black player can be spied? The funds required to run a polo team doubtless outstrip that of Formula One. How can they lecture us about global warming when one player admits he flies to Argentina twice a week? And this is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem with them trying to be woke warriors while at the same time serving this rubbish up.
yes. I think again that they don't see how they're looked at from other people. I think they just decide it themselves. They get an idea, slop it in, and that's it. And people don't want to know about that. They're not interested in what Harry and Meghan think about polo because they haven't got the experience. Certainly not Meghan. I mean, what's she doing in there? What's she producing? Why is she producing? I mean, it's a nonsense. But she did get some woman to say, "Oh, they're really sexy, and I like them because they're smelly and sweaty." Well, I don't think people, want to hear that either.
No.
Actually, it's not serious enough. It doesn't tell you anything, and they just do go around telling everybody else what to do. The hypocrisy is vast. And they're still not learning. You think that if you do something and you realize you've got it all wrong, then you change it, but it's not. It's always the same, very rarely true, and just goes on. The pair of them are just shocking.
I love the holidays. It's my favourite time of year in so many ways, but I can find it to be very demanding going to all the events, dinners, looking for gifts, and planning the day itself. Every year I tend to burn out quicker than the last, and it might have something to do with getting older. But this year I don't plan to burn out at all. Getting older is inevitable, but feeling older isn't. As we get older, our body's ability to create energy declines, but recent scientific discoveries have found we can actually increase our energy levels in our cells by taking something called NMN. Now, NMN has been shown to increase energy and endurance, activate our body's ability to burn fat, enhance mental function and health, improve blood pressure, regulate blood sugar levels, and support many other health markers. Finding high quality pure NMN is hard though, and that's why I use Verso. They conduct third-party testing for each batch produced to guarantee you get what you paid for. It contains the highest quality of NMN and other research-backed ingredients too that have been shown to increase energy levels and slow down aging. I've taken it for some time. I feel like a younger version of me, more energy, enhanced endurance, improved cognition, fat loss, better sleep, and when I do get a cold, which happens at this time of year, I recover so much faster. So click on the link in the description on YouTube and Rumble, or head on over to Verso, which is buy.ver.so, and use the coupon code Outspoken at checkout. I'm just going to repeat that address for you: www.buy.ver.so/outspoken. Use the coupon code Outspoken for that 15% discount. You can find the link as well in the show notes below this video or on screen now. But back to the show. They are. Speaking of shocking, though, Angela, I want to ask you about, because you're Queen Camilla's biographer, and I want to ask you about this Channel 4 documentary, Camilla, the Wicked Stepmother. I mean, I think Channel 4 are just awful.
Camilla, the Wicked Stepmother, with a question mark after that. I looked at it.
So was it the question mark because Harry had described her as wicked? Is that how they justified that title?
They didn't justify it. That was just the title. And I didn't realize it was something that I'd done, because I had never said anything about her being wicked or anything. And it was several of us talking about her, and they were all terrific. They were all saying how wonderful she was, how hard she's worked, how she's been very good with King Charles. And but there was one person there, I won't name him, but there was one person there who had worked for several years with Diana, and he let rip right at the end about how Camilla had broken the marriage, a wonderful woman, and it was just very, very difficult. She made her life shocking, all that. He went on and on and on. And I realized that actually Channel 4 that it was on wanted to end it like that, to make everyone feel that how spiteful she'd been. We had Harry there talking about, bodies on the street and all that nonsense, which has never been proven, of course not. And it was just very, very uncomfortable. And there was so many letters and people who felt how offensive it was. It was very interesting, because going back years, decades, people felt very badly about Camilla. And now they feel that she's wonderful and she's done a great deal to help the country, women who are hurt at home, and most of all, her husband, who actually is a different person and doing very well. So to bring that out about Diana, and actually Diana was not perfect either. And, it was just the wrong thing to do with the wrong timing. And you couldn't quite work out why it's been put together like that. I just
think Channel 4 are despicable. They're despicable, and they're trying to bring down the royal family, Angela. I mean, they were responsible for the big documentary the other day in regards to the royal finance scene. But do you know what? I usually watch everything you're in, but given it's on Channel 4, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't mind if you don't.
I don't know if I can.
It was really funny because I said, obviously they didn't want me. And that was all right. I didn't mind because I didn't like the title. And I sat there and I heard my voice and turned around. No.
Well, no, because this is the problem. It's what TV companies do. They will have presented it to you with a different title and they just say WT in brackets, which stands for working title, so that they get the people signed up, and then they very craftily, and I think actually quite cheekily really, then change the title. Because, as you say, you wouldn't have contributed to it if you knew that they were going to suggest she was a wicked stepmother. So it's very Channel 4.
Luckily, I didn't have to say anything. I didn't say anything nasty, so I wasn't involved in that bit. It was just one person who said that, and they left it for the end
the whole
to
thing.
Make a big noise.
Well, as I say, we know the agenda that Channel 4 has. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.